Hello and welcome everybody to this second video on problems and solutions for investment accounting. Earlier in the two videos, I have shared with you the theoretical background of Accounting Standard 11, and in the second video, we have discussed one problem with solution on investment accounting. So this is the second in the series that we'll be discussing the problems and solutions. Today we have selected a question from Mumbai University, semester 5, TY BCom, November 2016. The question says, Mr. Joshi has given you the details of investments. The nature of investment is 12% government bonds, and the face value of each bond is 100 rupees. The interest is payable on half-yearly basis, and the due dates are 30th June and 31st of December every year. The books are closed on 31st of March every year. And then you are given the purchase and sale related information for these bonds for the year ended on 31st of March 2016. It includes both cum interest as well as ex interest transactions. So let us see how we are going to work on this. To begin with, we will have the investment account for 12% bonds in the books of Mr. Joshi. And then one by one, we'll go and try to post these transactions in the books of Mr. Joshi. Now on 1/4/15, there is an opening balance where the number of bonds are 2,400 with a cost of 2,28,000. So in our government bond account or investment account, our first entry will be to balance brought down, in which we are going to have the face value of 2,40,000 and the cost of investment as 2,28,000. So 1st April 2015, opening balance, to balance brought down, face value 2,40,000 and the cost of investment is 2,28,000. Now on 1st June 2015, there is a sale transaction, and the sale transaction is 900 bonds at the rate of 105 rupees per bond, and this is a cum interest transaction. That means the price of 105 rupees per bond is inclusive of interest. Now when you say it is inclusive of interest, we'll have to find out what is the last date of payment of interest, and from that date till 1st of June, we'll have to calculate the interest. If you see the information, you are given that the interest is payable twice in the year on 30th June and 31st December every year. Now we are talking of transaction on 1st of June 2015. That means the last date of payment of interest was 30th of December last year. So from that date till today, we have to calculate the interest. Now before we get into this sale of bond, there is one more thing that we'll have to do. See, the last due date of payment is 31st December. That means on 31st March last year, that is 31st March 2015, we have closed the books, and on that day, 3 months interest was outstanding. So we have accounted for 3 months interest on accrual basis. Now when you account for interest on accrual basis, we pass the entry interest accrued account debit to interest account. So we account for that income. So likewise, we must have passed the entry on 31st March 2015. Now this entry will get reversed on 1/4/15 when we begin with the next year. So before we account for this sale, let us reverse this entry. Let us see the working note for that, and then we will proceed. Now see here, on 31st March 15, interest for 3 months was accrued on face value of 2,40,000 at 12% per annum. So this entry gets reversed on 1/4/15. The entry will be now interest account debit to accrued interest account. In the last year, we must have passed the entry accrued interest account debit to interest account, which stands reversed on 1st of April 2015. So before recording the sale, let us reverse this entry, and the entry that we have passed now is interest account debit 7,200 to accrued interest account 7,200. On the bond value, face value of 2,40,000, the interest at 12% per annum comes to 7,200 for a period of 3 months. So this interest amount is getting reversed and accounted for accordingly. Now we will go to the transaction of sale on 1st of July 2015. Now on 1st of July 2015, let us see what has happened. On 1st of July 2015, we have sold 900 bonds and these are sold at cum interest price. So let us see step by step what is going to happen in this case. We have got 900 bonds sold at 105 rupees per bond cum interest. So let us find out the total amount received. Total receipt will be 900 bonds into 105 per bond. It comes to 94,500 rupees. This is the total amount including the interest. So as I told you, we'll have to calculate the interest, remove it from 94,500 so that we can get the capital receipt on account of this particular sale. Now, as I told you, this payment of interest was received in December. The last payment of interest was received in December. That means from January onwards, we have to calculate the interest till 1st of June, which is a period of 5 months. So on 900 bonds, the face value is 90,000 rupees. Interest at 12% per annum from January 15 to May 15. It's a period of 5 months. It comes to 4,500 rupees. I repeat, on a face value of 90,000, 12% per annum, interest for a period of 5 months, that is from January 2015 to May end or 31st May 2015. So it comes to 4,500 rupees. Therefore, 94,500 is the total amount that we have received, less 4,500 of interest. That leaves you with a capital receipt of 90,000 rupees on account of sale of these bonds. Now, against this 90,000 rupees, we have to find out what is the weighted average cost so that we can find out whether there is a profit or loss on account of this transaction. Now, to begin with, we had 2,400 bonds whose cost was given to you. So using that data, we can calculate what is the weighted average cost. So let's weighted average cost. 2,28,000 is the total cost at the beginning of the year, divided by 2,400, the number of bonds, multiplied by 900 bonds which are in hand as of now. So if you calculate weighted average cost for 900 bonds, it comes to 85,500 rupees. So my selling price, excluding interest or capital receipt, as I can call it, is 90,000. Less weighted average cost is 85,500. So difference, profit or loss, is 4,500. My selling price, capital receipt, is more than the cost. So my profit is 4,500 rupees. I repeat two transactions that we have accounted for till now. One was accounting for interest, the reversal of interest rather. At the beginning of the year, we had interest accrued of 7,200. So that was getting reversed by passing the entry interest account debit to accrued interest account. And now we are recording the sale of 900 bonds at 105 rupees per bond cum interest price. Total amount received is 94,500. On face value of 90,000, interest at 12% per annum from the last payment date, which was 31st December. So January 15 to May 15, it's a period of 5 months for which we have received the interest. It comes to 4,500 rupees. So remaining capital receipt is 90,000 rupees less weighted average cost. 2,28,000 is the total investment in bonds, the cost of it, divided by 2,400 bonds multiplied by 900 bonds. The cost comes to 85,500 rupees. So balance of profit is 4,500. How do you pass the entry? First, we'll record the sale. The entry will be bank account debit 94,500, to interest 4,500, to investment account 90,000 rupees. And then we will subsequently transfer the profit. So let us see how this entry gets recorded in the investment account. For June 2015. Bank account debit 94,500, to interest account 4,500, to investment account 90,000 rupees. Now on the same day, we have made a profit on this sale that gets transferred to profit and loss account. So our entry will be investment account debit to profit and loss account 4,500. So we have recorded sale, we have recorded profit, which is getting transferred to profit and loss account on 1st of June 2015. Now we are on 1st of June, and immediately in next few days, that is precisely on 30th June 2015, the due date of interest is there. Now on this date, 30th June 2015, whatever bonds you are holding, you will get the interest for a period of 6 months, that is January 2015 to 30th of June 2015. Now the question is, what is the quantum of bonds you are holding, or what is the face value of bonds you are holding? If you see the data on 1/4/15, your face value is 2,40,000. But out of that, you have already sold the bonds having face value of 90,000 on 1st of June 2015. That means you now have the face value of bonds to the extent of 150,000. So on this 150,000, let us calculate the interest on 30th June. So this is the calculation of interest on 150,000. Face value of bonds opening minus face value of bonds sold, it comes to 1,50,000. As I have already told you, on 1,50,000, 12% interest for a period of 6 months. So this interest will have to be accounted for on this day. So the amount of interest, whatever you receive, the entry will be bank account debit to interest account. So on this day, on 1,50,000, you will receive 12% interest for a period of 6 months, which comes to 9,000 rupees. So this interest is 9,000. I'll just add it here. So I have accounted for interest by passing the entry bank account debit to interest account 9,000 rupees. I'm sorry. Sorry. Let us move on to the further transactions. Let us see what is the next sequence of transaction. Next is on 1st September 2015. You have purchased 2100 bonds. The pricing is 98 rupees per bond X interest. If it is an X interest transaction, you will additionally pay interest on these bonds. When was the last due date of payment? It was 30th of June. So after that, July and August, for a period of 2 months, we are going to pay the interest along with 98 rupees per bond. Let us see how this calculation is done on 1st of September 2015. Now on 1st September 2015, let us see the calculation. 2100 bonds purchased at 98 rupees X interest. So 2100 bonds into 98 rupees. The investment cost is 2,05,800. Plus we have to add the interest. Let us see how much interest is to be added. The face value of 2,100 bonds is 2,10,000. 12% interest per annum for a period from last payment date till now. It's a period of 2 months. So on face value of 2,10,000, 2 months interest comes to 4,200. So that means we are going to make the total payment of 2,10,000. So as you can see, 2,100 bonds purchased 98 rupees per bond at X interest. The cost of investment is 2,05,800. The last due date of payment was 30th June 2015. So that means for July and the month of August 2015, 2 months, we have paid the interest to the vendor, to the seller. So on face value of 2,10,000, 12% per annum for a period of 2 months, interest comes to 4,200 rupees. So if you add that, your total payment is 2,10,000. The entry will be investment account debit 2,05,800, interest account debit 4,200, to bank account 2,10,000 rupees. So let us go back to the investment account and see how this data gets reflected on 1st September 2015. Face value 2,10,000 is shown in face value column, and then we have passed the entry. Investment account debit 2,05,800, interest account debit 4,200 to bank account, the total payment made to the concerned vendor. So on 1st September 2015, we have recorded this transaction. Now let us see what is the next transaction. After 1st September, even on 1st December, there is a purchase 1,200 bonds, but this time it is a come interest price. So 108 rupees come interest price. We have to remove the interest from that and find out the cost of investments. So let us see the working note on 1st of December 2015. On 1st December, purchase of 1,200 bonds at 108 rupees come interest. So total payment 1,200 into 108 is 1,29,600. Now from this we have to remove the interest. Which interest we have to remove? From the last payment date till 1st of December 2015. The last payment date was 30th June 2015. So July onwards till 30th September. So July, August, September, October and November. It's a period of 5 months. So we'll have to calculate the interest. On which amount you will calculate the interest? Face value 1,20,000 is a face value, 12% per annum, July to November 2015. It's a period of 5 months. So if you calculate the interest, it comes to 6,000 rupees. So we are reducing the interest from this. So the cost of investment comes to 1,23,600. So when you acquire these bonds, we are going to pass the entry. Investment account debit 1,23,600, interest account debit 6,000 to bank account 1,29,600 rupees. This is how the transaction will get recorded in the books. So let us find out the entry posted here. Let us see how the entry is posted here. Investment account debit 1,23,600, interest account debit 6,000 and to bank account 1,29,600. And the face value of investment 1,20,000 is reflected over here. So this is how we have recorded the entry on 1st of December 2015 towards the purchase of these transactions, purchase of these bonds. Now after this, let us see when is the next transaction date, and you will realize that the next transaction date is on 1st of Feb 2016 when we have made some sale. So that means before that, on 31st December, we are supposed to receive the interest. So let us see how much interest we are supposed to receive on 31st of December, which is the due date of interest. Now, if you see the number of bonds, originally we had 2,400 bonds. We sold 900 bonds and 2 times we made a purchase, which was 2,100 and 1,200. So as on date, your holding is 4,80,000 or 4,800 bonds. So on face value of 4,80,000, 12% per annum for a period of 6 months, if you calculate the interest, it comes to 28,800 rupees. We are going to receive this interest on 31st December. So the entry will be bank account debit to interest account 28,800 rupees. So here on 31st December, bank account debit to interest account 28,800 rupees. So this is the entry for receipt of interest on 1st Feb 2016. Moving further, the next transaction is on 1st Feb 2016. We have accounted for this interest, and next transaction is on 1st Feb 2016. 2,700 bonds are sold at 97 rupees ex interest. So we will have to see how do we account for transaction. Let's go to the working note for 1st of Feb 2016. We have sold 2,700 bonds, 97 rupees ex interest. So our capital receipt is 2,61,900. From this, we have to reduce the weighted average cost. See here, it is a ex interest transaction. So we directly get the capital receipt which is 2700 into 97, which comes to 2,61,900, less weighted average cost. Now we'll have to do a little calculation here, and we will make a working note for that for weighted average cost. Let us see how do we do the note. We have opening balance of 2,400. Cost was 2,28,000. Number of bonds were 2,400. These are number of bonds. So cost was 2,28,000. First purchase 2,100 bonds, 2,05,800 was the cost. Second purchase 1,200 bonds, the cost is 1,23,600. And then we had one sale in between, 900 bonds, whose cost we have already determined in our working note as 85,500. So if you work out the balance, you have 4,800 bonds, whose cost is 4,71,900. So your weighted average cost will be 4,71,900 divided by 4,800 bonds multiplied by 2,700 bonds which you have sold. So your weighted average cost is 2,65,444. And now if you compare, your selling price is 2,61,900. Your cost is more, 2,65,444. That means we are incurring a loss in the process. So your loss is 3,544. So we have to account for this loss. But the story is not over. Why story is not over here? Because you have sold the bonds X interest. That means you will receive the interest separately. Which period you will receive the interest? For the period from last payment date, which was 31st December. So in the month of Jan, 1 month you will receive the interest. For Jan 2016, you will receive the interest. On which balance you will receive the interest? You will receive the interest on face value of 2,700 bonds, which is 2,70,000 at 12% per annum for a period of 1 month. The interest comes to 2,700 rupees, which you will receive separately. So you are going to receive 2,61,900 for selling of bonds. You are also going to receive 2,700 rupees for towards the interest. So if you calculate the total receipt, it will be, this is the selling price of bonds plus 2,700. You will receive 2,64,600 in the process. How will you account for this? Your entry will be bank account debit 2,64,600, to interest 2,700, to investment account 2,61,900 rupees. So let us record this transaction in the books. So 31st March 2016, before that on 1st Feb, we are recording the sale of this transaction. Bank account debit, to interest 2,700, to investment 2,61,900. Now on this transaction, we have suffered a loss. So that loss will be transferred to profit and loss account by passing the entry profit and loss account debit to investment account. So we are passing the entry profit and loss account debit to investment 3,544. So we have passed two entries, one for sale. The entry is one for sale. The entry is bank account debit, to interest 2,700, to investment account 261,900. This is the first entry for sale. And the second entry is for transferring the profit or loss. And in this case, we have suffered a loss of 3,544. So we have passed the entry P&L account debit to investment account 3,544 rupees. So this is how the loss is getting transferred. Now we are on 31st March. And on 31st March, there are a couple of things that we have to do. First, we have to find out the accrued interest and account for accrued interest. So let us find out the accrued interest and close the interest account first. Now, if you go to the investment holding on this date, on number of bonds on 31st December are 4,800. Out of that, you have sold on 1st Feb 2,700 bonds. So then what happens? You are left with 2,100 bonds on 31st March 2016. So on these bonds, you are supposed to receive the interest. So on this day, you are having face value, the bond's face value is 2,10,000. You will have to accrue the interest for a period of 3 months, which comes to 6,300 rupees on 2,10,000 at 12% per annum for a period of 3 months. If you calculate the interest, it comes to 6,300 rupees. So this interest will have to be accounted for. And when you account for this particular interest, we are going to pass the entry interest accrued account debit to interest account. So we will record this entry in the books of accounts, interest accrued account debit to interest account. So 31st March 2016, let's do that. Interest accrued account debit to interest account 6,300. Now everything is over in respect of interest. So what we will do? We will first close the interest account. Now when you close the interest account, we'll have to transfer this balance to profit and loss account. So how do we close the interest account? We have to find out the balance, and that gets transferred to profit and loss account. Now if you see the interest account, the credit side total, if you see the interest credit side total, it is 51,300, and on the debit side you will have a balancing figure of 33,900 rupees. So this is the income for the year which is transferred to profit and loss account. So our entry is interest account debit to profit and loss account 33,900 rupees. Now this is what we have done. Now we have to carry forward the balance of investments. To carry forward the balance of investments, you have to first find out what is the face value which you already calculated over here. The face value which you already calculated is 2,10,000. So this balance will have to be carried forward to the next year. So we have to make the entry over here. Balance carried down, face value 2,10,000. Now, one very important information is given over here, and that information is that the market value of investment is 2,03,456. Now, before you account for this market value on other things, you have to find out what is the cost of these bonds. If you see the balancing figure to find out the cost of these bonds, I'll show you the balancing figure. The balancing figure on the credit side, which represents the cost of these bonds, if you calculate this, it's going to be if you calculate the balancing figure over here in the credit side for investment account is 2,06,456, whereas the market value is 2,03,456. That means we have suffered a loss of 3,000 rupees. Now this loss will have to be accounted for, and this loss will be transferred to profit and loss account. So on 31st March 2016, we will account for this loss of 3,000 rupees. The entry is profit and loss account debit to investment account 3,000 rupees. And then we will carry forward the investment of 2,03,456 as per the given market value to the next year. So if you actually calculate, if you actually calculate the cost of investment on this day as a balancing figure, it comes to 2,06,456, the balancing figure in the account. But since the market value is 2,03,456, you have to factor in the loss of 3,000. That loss will have to be transferred to profit and loss account by passing the entry profit and loss account debit to investment account 3,000 rupees. and then we will carry forward the investment at its market value, which is now 2,03,456. So here we had a case where the year-end value of investment was less than the cost, and therefore we had to carry forward the investment at the market value, consider the loss of 3,000, and that loss is debited to profit and loss account. So this is how your final investment account will look like on 31st of March 2016. With this, we are about to conclude this problem. If you have any queries, if you have any doubts, there is an email ID provided in my earlier lectures, caprasanna.tambe@gmail.com. You can write a mail to me on that particular email ID, or you can put the comments for your queries or whatever you have over here. I hope I have been able to clarify the issues in this particular sum, in this particular solution. If you have liked this video, if you found it very useful, then you can subscribe to my channel, and you can also click the icon for a bell, so that for subsequent updates on this channel, you will get the notification for the subsequent updates. Thank you very much for listening to this channel, listening to this video, and wish you all the best.